Welcome to Talking Crue, an official Motley Crue podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Humphrey, where I talk all things in the world of Motley Crue. This is episode 111 this week, Motley Crue at Live 8 2005 review. But first, this weekend Motley news. There is quite a bit of it. Happy 44th anniversary to the Motley Crue album, Too Fast for Love, which I'm rocking out today. I'm talking about the Leather Records version, released on November the 10th, 1981. I actually talk about this album, the Elektra and the Crucial Crew version, I should say. I do talk a little bit about the Leather Records version. On episode 3, I will do the Leather Records version next year, so stay tuned for that. Happy 22nd anniversary to the Motley Crue box set, Music to Crash a Car 2, Volume 1, released November the 11th, 2003. I haven't talked about this box set yet, but I will be very soon, so hang on tight to that. Happy 22nd anniversary also to the Motley Crue DVD Greatest Video Hits, released November the 11th, 2003. Now, I did talk about this DVD on episode 27. John Corabi is in the news this week. He posted a little video on social media saying that he is filming music videos for his upcoming new solo album. I cannot wait to hear what this is. John 5 is in the news this week. He was a special guest on Masters of Shred podcast, where he talks about being a Kiss fan and being friends with Ace Frehley. Plus, there was a really cool part of this podcast thing that he did where they go through Guitar magazine back in 1993, which had Ace on the cover, Dimebag, the late Dimebag Darrell, and Dave the Snake Sabo of Skid Row. And Dimebag and Snake are in the Spaceman makeup, and Ace is in between them. I actually have this magazine myself, but they go through this magazine, and John 5 throws some memories, either guitar-wise stuff like pedals and stuff, but he also talks some really personal stories of the late Ace Frehley, like going with Ace to a pawn shop and buying all kinds of stuff. It's really good. I really loved it. It was great to hear some Ace memories. I will post this in the comments section down below and on the Talking Crue Facebook page. Now, Motley Crue released today the Theater of Pain 40th Anniversary box set. If you got one, write me a comment down below. Let me know. I'm still kind of waiting. I'm hoping for Christmas that I'll get this, so let's see what happens. John Corabi and the Dead Daisies are back in the news. They also released a live album, Live at Stone Dead, on digital only. So it's on my Spotify as we speak. I'm going to listen to it this weekend, and I can't wait for this. Plus, they made a music video as well for this live album. The song For a Long Way to Go. I will post that music video in the comment section down below and on the Talking Crue Facebook page. Motley Crue also announced today that if you go buy the Theater of Pain 40th Anniversary box set at a local indie store, now you could get a poster or some pins. I have the list. I will post it on the Talking Crue Facebook page. I can't really post anything like that here. But so check out your local stores. Maybe they have something like this. And that's it in Motley news this week. Like I said, there is quite a bit of it. It has been great having so much news to talk about, because I thought as we were getting closer to Thanksgiving, maybe things might slow down a little bit, but it hasn't at the least. Now, if you hear that bumping bull, you know what? That is not me. That's my neighbor. He waited until I got home and then turned it all the way up in his car. He's standing outside. Why do you need it that loud? Anyway, so I apologize if you're listening to this and on Spotify. It really comes in big time on that. Again, I'm so sorry. So let's get right into this week's episode, and that is episode 111, Motley Crue Live 8 2005 review. On this week's episode, I thought I'd continue on with a celebration. Last week I talked about Motley Crue AOL Sessions 2004, which was 21 years ago. Now I'm going to talk about this historic music festival that Motley Crue, my favorite band, took part of 20 years ago. So let's go info and facts about Live 8. This was a benefit concert festivals that took place on July 2nd and the 6th of 2005. The festival was founded by Bob Geldof, who put together, if you remember this, Live Aid back in 1985. Now, I started thinking about this as I was doing research on this. Why wasn't Motley Crue invited in Live Aid 1985? I mean, they were, if not the biggest band at that time, with Theater of Pain. You had Smoking in the Boys Room blowing up MTV, Home Sweet Home blowing up MTV. In fact, they had to actually retire the music video. It was number one for so long. So yeah, I kind of wonder, did they even get asked to be part of Live Aid in 1985? I mean, it wasn't like hard rock wasn't part of it. I mean, you had the reunion of Led Zeppelin, you had the reunion of Black Sabbath, you had Queen reunion, plus a tons more that were there that were hard rock. Maybe I'll ask Nikki later today and see if they were even asked. The reason for these shows of Live 8 was to get rid of poverty, especially in Africa. It was held in multiple cities and countries: London, England, Paris, France, Berlin, Germany, Rome, Italy, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Ontario, Canada, Chiba, Japan, Johannesburg, Africa, Moscow, Russia, Cornwall, England, and Edinburgh, Scotland. There were tons and tons and tons of bands and artists that took part of these. I just wrote down just a few. So you got Bryan Adams, love Bryan Adams, Deep Purple, Audio Slave, Green Day, Pink Floyd, love Pink Floyd, The Who, who doesn't love The Who, U2, and Sir Paul McCartney. There's my Paul McCartney impression there, plus Def Leppard, and of course Motley Crue. Now, as I was doing research, it has been reported that 3 million viewers in the United States watched this concert festival, and 30 million people watched it worldwide. Motley Crue played on July the 2nd, 2005 in Ontario, Canada at Park Place. They played 3 songs at this show. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the stage. They are on the Carnival of Sins tour, or Red, White Crew / Carnival of Sins tour. So it's a simple stage setup, 2 huge giant stacks of amps on each side of Tommy Lee's drum kit, 2 regular mic stands for Nikki and Mick. And now I'm going to talk about the show. Now, I did find it on YouTube. It's kind of in 2 parts. So part 1 is the first 2 songs, and part 2 is the last song. I'll post these in the comment section down below and on the Talking Crew Facebook page, and I will label part 1 and part 2. Alright, so let's get right to it. The band is introduced by legendary actor and comedian, my favorite. I love this guy, and pretty much in anything that he's done, Dan Aykroyd, and comedian Tom Green, who's a blast from the past. He had his own MTV show back in the day. Now, something I noticed when I watched this, it kind of brings back memories of the US Festival in 1983. What I mean is when the band comes on stage, who are announced by Dan Aykroyd, what are these speakers, giant speakers here? It must be Motley Crue, and Motley Crue takes the stage. Now, they get a lukewarm kind of applause. I mean, there are some fans that are there to see Motley Crue. But they're kind of a golf clap, kind of warm welcome to Motley Crue. And then you'll see as the show goes on, and I'll get to that here in a minute. So song number 1 is Kickstart My Heart. Mick's already on the stage after the introduction, and then he starts it up and the rest come in. Absolutely incredible live performance. It's so freaking good. It rocks. Great crowd reaction at the end of the song. So they're starting to warm up a little bit to Motley. Song number 2 is Home Sweet Home. Vince welcomes the crowd and actually dedicates the song to the people at Live 8 and the people in Canada. Amazing live version as always. Crowd singing along this time. It's so freaking good. So again, they're starting to win the crowd just a little bit. And then we get to the last song, and that song is song number 3, Dr. Feelgood. And once Tommy starts that drum beat, fantastic crowd reaction. It's like, oh, it's Motley Crue. On this song is absolutely incredible live performance. Again, it's so freaking good. And like I said, so they kind of start off with a lukewarm, kind of like the US Festival in '83. People really may have known who Motley Crue was, but not a whole lot of people did. And then by the end of the US Festival, after they played Helter Skelter, everybody was on their feet and clapping and couldn't get enough of Motley. So at the end of Dr. Feelgood, and even towards the end of Dr. Feelgood, where Vince has everybody clap their hands, it's just like a sea of people. Everybody's hands are in the air. Everybody's clapping along and having a good time. It's the power of music, I think, and the power of Motley Crue. It's an incredible show. I absolutely love it. I haven't seen it in almost a year or so. So watching this again, I was just like, oh, wow, I love this. That's why it started bringing back memories of the US Festival in '83, which I did do an episode on, episode 4. So go back and check that out. So, yeah, like I said, great crowd reaction at the end. The band sounded amazing, looked amazing. And I would almost guess, unless you were there, you could probably tell me, that Motley Crue was probably the loudest band that played that day. They are the loudest band on earth. So if you were there, write me a comment down below, let me know. In fact, that's homework this week. Have you seen this before? And was you there in Ontario, Canada? Write me a comment down below. Love to know. And that's it for this week. Next week's episode is episode 112. Motley Crue special bonus CDs 1998 review. If you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely tune in next week. You'll find out there were actually 3 special bonus CDs in 1998. I'll talk about that next week. Alright, if you know anybody that's a Motley Crue fan, likes to talk about Motley Crue, hear about Motley Crue, send them this way. Hit that share button, copy the link, and send it to them. Tell them to go on Google, Firefox, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and type in Talking Crue. All the episodes will pop up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button yourself. Give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. It helps out the podcast a whole lot. I want to welcome all the new subscribers on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. Welcome aboard. It is absolutely great to have you here. Everybody who gives me a thumbs up and does homework questions, love that as well. And that's it. I will see you guys next Friday, and hopefully that mess won't be playing. Until then, you just took a ride on the wild side.